All right, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the Investment League podcast. If this is your first time checking in, first time listening, what we do here is we offer free money saving and investing tips to get ahead in life, to get back the time that we all are missing out on, and to get ourselves on the right track to success. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can follow along as we talk about this topic of the day. If you're listening and you're not driving currently, head over to Instagram. Look up at My Investment League. Every day we have a post talking about some type of money saving tip to help us reach our goals financially. And to find out which post we're talking about, this is episode number 14. So go on YouTube, look up the post with the number 14 on it, and that's the post we're talking about currently. Real quick before we begin, I want to give a shout out because I got people in the UK, Mexico, and Norway tuning in and listening to my podcast. So that's amazing to me, knowing that people from outside of the US are actually listening to my stuff. You know, I put all this information out there as free information for people to finally get control of their finances and figure out how can they get themselves into a better position and get ahead in life, get out of this rat race that we're all in. And to know that people are out there and they're actually clicking on my link and listening to me is very humbling. So shout out to y'all who are out there listening. I'm international, baby, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so today's post, I have no time, right? That's an excuse that a lot of people make for a lot of different reasons. So just to break it down to you guys, on the post, there's 168 hours in 1 week, right? 24 times 7, 168. We work for 40 hours about, some people work more than 40 hours, but we work for 40 hours. We sleep for 56 hours. We should be working out for 5 hours, and these are all generalizations. Most people don't sleep 8 hours a day. So 56 hours probably isn't actually what we're getting. 40 hours a week, we're probably working more than 40 hours a week. So you can kind of flip flop those if you want to. We work out for 5 hours. So if you work out at least 5 days a week for an hour, or you split it up, should be dedicating at least 5 hours a week to working out. And then I put an extra 21 hours in there just for anything else, such as driving to work, cooking dinner for your family, spending time with your family, 21 hours throughout the week. So that's about 3 hours a day, right? Even with all of that being said, we still have 46 hours of extra free time throughout the week to do something else, to get something else done, to go work towards your goals, to do something that's going to help you get to the next level. And that's a lot of time, 46 hours. That's a whole nother full-time job with an extra 6 hours to play with. So we have plenty of time, you know what I'm saying? And that's the goal with this. We have plenty of time. Don't waste your time. We're never going to get our time back. You know what I'm saying? We always use that as an excuse. Yeah, I ain't got no time. There's not enough time in the day. What are the things that everyone's always asking for? More time. We want more time to spend with our kids, more time to spend with our family, more time to get sleep. You know what I'm saying? We're always searching for more time. And when we're not breaking down, what are we actually spending our time on? Oftentimes we'll get home from work and then we sit down and we're on social media just looking up random stuff, or we're just sitting down watching TV, not really doing anything because we want to regress and we want to take time away to just relax. While we're spending that time decompressing, time never stops. We're using all of these platforms, all this social media to get away from the real world, but the real world is not stopping. The time never stops. So now we have to figure out how are we going to get our time back, because time doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? But there's something that we can do to help us get our time back. And what I mean by that is get to a point where we no longer have to work for something that we don't want to actually do. You know what I mean? Which is like going to work. And how do we do that? Investing in multiple different reasons, but primarily investing in the stock market, getting your money up, getting your money out there, letting your money do work. That way you don't actually have to do work. And that's the key with all of this that we're going through, is finding out how we can get all of our time back. Because once you get to that point where you no longer have to work, you're going to retire. Now you have all the time in the world to do whatever you want. Nobody's telling you you have to be here. You have to work these hours. You have to do this job. It's all up to you, whatever you want to do. And the goal with all of this is to be able to start this life early, before 65. You know what I mean? And that's where this 46 hours, maybe even that extra 21 hours comes in, because that's time that we could be spending, investing in, like I said, multiple different ways, primarily investing in the stock market with our money, and then investing in our mental health, our physical health. That way, when we do retire, we can still physically do things. You know what I mean? We're mentally healthy, we're stable, we know what we want, how we're going to get there, what we're going to do when we get there, and how we're going to set up the next level, the next generation, you know what I mean? And all that stuff. So time is definitely the most crucial part of life and everything that comes with it. And why would we waste time? Why do you want to waste time? Time is never stopping. You know what I mean? So that's the key with this podcast right here. This episode, figure out, what do you spend all of your time on? You know what I mean? Actually sit down, just like I mentioned before, sit down and write down all the money that you're spending. How much do you spend a month? Now it's time to see how much time are we spending our actual time on. So instead of figuring out what we're spending our money on, now we want to figure out what are we spending our time on. And you break it down, you figure out, what am I doing when I get home? What am I working on that's going to help me get to where I want to go? Investing in the stock market, that's something that's passive. It doesn't take that much time. That's going to take less than 21 hours a week. You know what I mean? You don't even have to put that much time in there, and the rewards from that are so great, because you can set yourself up to have extra income. That way you can retire early, and like I said, have more time to do the things we want. So leaving you guys with this podcast, I want to leave you guys with this. Figure out, what are you spending your time on? How can you manage your time better so that you can be a little bit more productive with your time? That way that we can get to our goals faster, because if we can knock out this stuff early, then we can do whatever we want later. And like I said, that's the motto of this podcast. Do the work now so we can do whatever we want later. And like I said, later, it doesn't have to be 30 years from now. Later can be 15 years from now, 10 years from now, depending on where you're at and how much you can start investing. So if you guys haven't started investing yet, look me up on YouTube, The Investment League. I break down everything that I do in the stock market, how I'm doing it, how I'm getting there. The average rate of return is 10%, and I'm already at 30% within just 2.5 months. So I'm already beating the market just from the things that I do. So if you want to follow along, learn different strategies, how you can invest in the stock market, subscribe to me on YouTube. Otherwise, think about what you spend your time on. Figure out how you're going to manage it better. Let's all get on that track to success early. All right, y'all. Peace.